Hey, what's going on, guys, man? Good morning. South Beach Transport, Renee Anthony. I got a question from Brian I wanted to go ahead and answer this morning. I appreciate everybody, man, who's been following me and subscribing to my channel, man. I really appreciate it, guys. We need to get some more subscribers. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody, man, who's been following me, man. And Brian, thanks for the question, and everybody else who's been asking all the questions. I'm going to make a bunch of videos today. Currently, I'm in Nebraska. Just got outside of Omaha. I am headed to Pennsylvania to drop off a chassis and a 1909 white chassis only. And then I'm heading up to New York to drop off a vehicle up in New York, a 1967 Shelby. Really nice, actually, guys. Then I'm going from there. I'm going to be headed to Massachusetts. I got 2 vehicles right outside Boston I have to pick up. Those are going back down to Florida. I'll be back home a little shy of 3 weeks out on the road. It's been a nice trip, man. Really good, you know. I've enjoyed it. Seen a lot, learned a lot on this trip. I'll share some of my experiences with you as well. But yeah, it's been nice, man. Really nice, man. I got a chance to stop in outside Reno, man, and I rented some dirt bikes, and me and my brother-in-law went out there in dirt bike riding, man, and it was amazing, man. I'll share some video of that with you too. I'll make a video on that dirt bike riding experience, but it was really cool, man. I had a good time, man. You know, normally when we're out, you know, after our 70 hours is up, we got to take a day off, so we normally pick somewhere nice and do something fun, man. You know, relax, and take a day off, man. You know, but all right, guys, hope everybody's doing good, man. All right, Brian, let's get down to your question, man. Basically, you wanted me to break down some of the expenses as far as fuel, driving costs, hotels. What are some of the expenses while you're out on the road, you know? Well, roughly my truck, which I have a Ram, a 2018 Ram 5500 turbo diesel, 6.7 liter 4x4, and I pull a 36.5 foot Pace American trailer, enclosed, 2-car hauler, and I have on the back of my truck, I have a 11 foot by 8 foot flatbed. So we put freight on it and different articles. So some of my expenses, fuel, I don't know, I'm averaging about 8 miles to the gallon. I mean, you know, anywhere from 7.5 to 8 miles per gallon. So it's costing me in fuel, I'm at about 38 cents a mile in fuel. And that's roughly what it costs. So, you know, I round it off to about 40 cents a mile, give or take, you know. But then you also have DEF, you have to include that in. I also put, oh man, what's the name of that liquid that we put in? Lucas, yeah. I put in Lucas, man. I tell y'all guys, man, that Lucas is serious, man. I don't know, I would not drive without it, man. It really helps out. I've got amazing gas mileage on this trip. I was in the 8s the whole time, man. I literally just got under 8, but the whole time I've been in the 8s, and I credit it to that Lucas, man. I pour it into the gas tanks. It does about 100 gallons, and you know it's $12.99 for a bottle of it. You can buy it at any gas station. Usually they have it. I buy the Lucas brand. I tell you, man, I really accredit that my better gas mileage to that, because normally I was getting about 7.5 to 7, but on this trip I used the Lucas, and I tell you, I changed my air filter too. I also put a K&N washable filter, because every time I come back in, you got to change the filter, the oil, and I was buying the paper filters, and I changed to the K&N, the plastic one. And man, I tell you, man, I don't know if it's that or the Lucas, but something's giving me better gas mileage on this trip. You know, so it's you know, I don't know, I do both, so I got them both in there. The K&N's a washable filter, you just wash it off. spray some oil on it and put it back in, man. You don't never have to buy another filter again, man. And it's really good. They actually give you a lifetime warranty on it. So I went ahead and invested. It's a lot more expensive than your regular paper filters. The paper filter for the truck at Advance or Napa or somewhere was about about $35. The K&N's about $85, but it's lifetime warranty. So you know, hey, I bought it, and it seems to be giving me better gas mileage than the Lucas. So gas, you're looking at about 40 cents a mile on a Hotshot rig like mine. You know, mine's a newer truck, so you know, if you have an older truck, you know, you could figure out your gas mileage basically. So mine's about 40 cents, let's say 38 to 40 cents. Then you have to calculate in def. So you know, add up your def and put that in, and that adds about I'd say about 5 cents a mile for def and Lucas. So I'm around about 45 cents a mile for fuel and def, and my Lucas that I put into the gas. So it's about 45 cents. Hotel costs, you know, that's always an expensive cost. I stay every night in a hotel. You know, after driving 11 hours and working a 14-hour day, you want a nice shower. You want to be able to use the restroom. You want to be able to feel clean, you know, and you know, I try to get them under $50 a night, but that's pretty difficult, especially if you're out on the West Coast. California's horrible. You know, their hotel prices are through the roof. You know, I use hotels.com. So if you use hotels.com, every 10th night I get for free. So that, you know, brings the cost of my hotels down. I also use American Express. I use my American Express card, and that gives you points. And I use those points to stay in hotels as well. So when I use my American Express points, it's really, I stay in hotels for free the whole time. So, you know, my hotel costs I try to keep down, you know, but when I do have to pay for them, I use hotels.com. You can always use a code too, MOB5, give you 5% off your booking with hotels.com. So it's capital M, capital O, capital B, and then a number 5. That'll give you 5% off every time you use your, let me just fix my camera. Sorry guys, it was bumpy, man. This road is horrible out here in Nebraska. But if you use that code every time you use hotels.com, you'll get a 5% discount, you know. And I don't, you know, telling you about hotels.com, I get nothing out of it, man. I just tell you who I use. And I'll be honest with you, I like it, man, because they give me that 10th room for free. You know, so let's say it's a $70 room. You got to minus that if you've stayed, or let's say an $80, $90 room, then you get $10 off every room. It brings your room costs down, you know. So roughly I spend about $75 a night on hotels. That's my average, you know, especially if I'm in the West Coast, you know. If you're in the South, you can find some for $45 a night, $50. But on average, you're going to spend about $75 a night on hotels. Another big expense, obviously, is eating. So, you know, you got to eat, and you don't want to eat horrible, you know. I try to skip breakfast unless a hotel that I pick. Usually I try to find a hotel that has breakfast. I don't know, the last 3 or 4 hotels I've had hasn't had no freaking breakfast, but Motel 6 does not have breakfast. So stay away from Motel 6 if you can, guys. You know, I mean, they don't give you breakfast, which is horrible, man. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, they don't believe in breakfast. So, yeah, Motel 6, no breakfast. But yeah, usually if you get a hotel that has breakfast, it saves you. You can eat in the morning before you leave. You know, some of these hotels have good breakfast, man. Sometimes it's corned beef hash, eggs, waffles. Usually most of them always have waffles, that little waffle machine. And they usually have an egg or some sausage, you know, orange juice, tea, coffee. So, you know, that saves you on spending money on your breakfast. Lunch, you know, it depends, man. How I'm feeling, man. I'll eat some almonds, you know, or some pistachios. I'm sure they're back here too. And water. Drink a bunch of water, man. I got a case of water back there. You know, the less you you stop, the more miles you'll get in a day, man. You know, if you get on this habit of stopping all the time for the restroom and all that, it's gonna kill you, man. And then your expenses go up, man, because every time you stop, you have to restart the truck. Your fuel mileage goes down, you know. So yeah, eating, you know, is another big expense. I usually eat a good dinner. Try to find somewhere. Iron Skillet, I love. It has a nice buffet. I don't know. There's a truck stop, man. We stopped. Like, God, I forgot to pin it. Where was it at? In
Folsom
in where?
Is it
In Nebraska? It was, right?
Nebraska is in Big Springs? Or?
Yeah. Grant. No.
Grant Springs.
Grant Island. Grant Island, Nebraska, man, has amazing rest stop, truck stop, man. With this restaurant in there, that the food was top notch, man. I wish I could find a place like that today. It's actually the best meal I've had since I've been on this trip, to be honest with you. I really enjoyed it. I had a macaroni cheese dish with chicken tenders and stuff, you know. It was really good, but that's another big expense is you know, eating. And you know, the more you eat, the less productive you're gonna be, and the more money you're gonna spend, you know. So you know, try to eat the least amount that you can, man, while you're out here on this driving, man. You know, the less you eat, you're gonna save money, man. I mean, you'll gain weight, you know, end up getting sick, everything else, man. So, you know, I try to eat 2 times a day, and that's really it. If I miss breakfast, I'll stop for lunch maybe, and then if I eat breakfast, usually I just drive through. We don't eat a lunch, and when we stop tonight for dinner, we'll do that. You know, you know, gotta stop your 8 hours. You know, after driving for 8 hours or being on the clock for 8 hours, you have to stop and eat, or stop and take a 30-minute break, or whatever you want to do. You know, I usually try to use that to fuel up, so I save some time. You know, and it saves me money as well. Remember, time is money, guys. The more you drive, the more miles you go, the more money, more loads you can pick up, the more money you make. So yeah, so eating, you know, is another huge expense. Also, you know, making sure you bring all the stuff that you need from home, man. Medicine, anything you need, man, because every time you gotta stop and buy something, it's gonna cost you money, you know. And then that adds to your expenses, man. It adds to your traveling expenses, you know. Everything from soap to, I mean, you just name it, man. It's just like you need to make sure that you bring it with you, you know. Sorry, fixing my camera there, guy. But yeah, make sure you bring everything with you, man. Everything that you need. Make sure you bring some extra bars of soap, some toothpaste, toothbrushes, you know, everything that you need, man. If not, you know, it's gonna, let me just fix this camera. I don't know what's going on. There it goes. All right. Yeah, make sure you bring everything you need, man. All right. What else? Any other expenses? You know,
vehicle maintenance.
Yeah, you gotta always remember your vehicle maintenance, tires, man. You know, for my trailer, I bring about 6 spare tires with me, man. You know, I mean, we do about 15,000 miles every time we go out. You know, between 10 and 15,000. Yeah, you shouldn't have to change your tires that often, but we carry a heavy weight back there, and you know, tires go bald, and the minute they're bald, man, I take the tire off. You know, and I put a new tire on my trailer. You know. My truck tires have lasted. I mean, I'm at about 50,000 miles on this truck, and my tires are still good, man. My front tires, you know, my front left one, I'm going to probably change it out when I get back home. Put 2 new front tires and keep that one as a spare, just in case. But, yeah, you know, put 2 new tires on the front. You know, you want to do it in pairs, too. So if I do that, I'll have 2 spares. And then, you know, that way I can have some spare tires on my truck if I need them, man. But you got to always calculate that in. The way I do it, my rule of thumb, is I keep 10% of everything I make. I put into a bank account, and that bank account is basically my maintenance on the truck. That has to do for tires, anything I have to do to the truck. Okay, oil changes, anything you got to do to the truck, I take out of that account. At the end of the year, what I do with that account is I take 50% of that and I give myself a bonus. So at the end of the year, if you have, let's say, $20,000, $30,000 in that account, At the end of the year, I'll take 50% of that, give it to me as a bonus, and the other 50% of it I will leave in the expense account for maintenance. Just in case my transmission goes, something goes big, I have a big amount, you know. So buying a brand new truck gives you your first year pretty much maintenance free. And you know, at the end of the year, if you save 10%, depending on how much you make and what you do, but you should be able to have $20,000-$30,000 saved up, and you know, it'll give you a nice little bonus at the end of the year, and it'll put some money in your maintenance account in case your transmission goes, you break down in the middle of nowhere, you got to get towed or something like that, you know, guys. So that's important, you know. So it's pretty much all my expenses, man, you know. Hope I covered everything there, you know. So I'll just reiterate again about you know, about 45 cents a mile roughly with fuel, with the Lucas that I put into my gas tank, and with the DEF. You know, you're looking at between 42 and 45 cents roughly a mile, okay? And then the hotel costs, I've covered that, about $75 a night roughly in hotel. And in food, about $50, you know, anywhere from $25 to $50 a day in food. You know, you don't want to kill yourself out here, man. You want to enjoy yourself too, you know. So remember, if you enjoy what you do, you don't work a day in your life, man, you know. If you look at it as a job, then you're going to hate it, man. If you look at it as you're on vacation and you get to see the beautiful United States of America, you're going to love it, man, you know. So, all right, guys, man, I hope I answered your question for you, man. I'll be making some more videos today and posting them up, man. Brian, you take care, man. Thanks for the question. Please, everybody, subscribe for me, man. Somewhere down here is a button. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Help me out, man. I want to try to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, man. And right now we're in September, so I have October, November, and December, guys. So, you know, please give me a hand here, okay? Help me out. Let's get some subscribers down there. Renee Anthony, South Beach Transport. Thanks a lot, guys.